Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
You wore that smile like a badge, held the keys, took roll, kept score, said trust me, this is our secret, locked the classroom door. You turned the lesson into leverage, you twisted kindness into chains, signed the homework with a halo, hiding every stain. Leave these kids alone, they came here to learn, not bleed. You carved your hunger into a desk, called it love till they believe. Time for justice, time for prison, let the truth cut through this prison of excuses. Leave these kids alone. You sat in front at assemblies, talked to futures, caps and gowns, but your hands were hunting shadows every time the lights went down. You wore that title like armor, respected leader, pillar, guide, but every text, every thread, every touch was a crime you tried to hide. Leave these kids alone, they came here to learn, not bleed. You carved your hunger into a desk, call it love till they believe. Time for justice, time for prison, let the truth cut through this prison of excuses. Leave these kids alone. We see the patterns in the hallway, a whisper shaking in the air. No more silence dressed as safety, every scar is evidenced a flare. Strip the plaques from off the walls, rip your name from every wing, let the victims write the ending, let the courtroom hear this sing. Leave these kids alone, they came here to learn, not bleed. You carved your hunger into a desk, called it love till they believe. Time for justice, time for prison, let the truth cut through this prison of excuses. Leave these kids alone.
An Austin ISD teacher is in jail tonight on a possession of child pornography charge. Texas DPS investigated Carl Inman, a fifth-grade teacher at Baranoff Elementary School. According to court documents, when authorities spoke to Inman back on Tuesday, he admitted to downloading child pornography. That same day, he was booked into jail. The principal at Baranoff Elementary told families Inman was last on campus back on Monday. As soon as the school found out about the DPS investigation, they placed him on leave.
Belton police officers arrested 29-year-old South Belton Middle School teacher Logan Demeny after being accused of sexual assault of a child. The arrest occurred after detectives obtained a warrant following the investigation. Demeny was taken into custody at his home in Belton and booked into the Belton County Jail. Officers received a report regarding the incident on February 22, 2025, which originally took place in 2021. The victim reported the assault occurred while they were a student in Demeny's English class and did not occur on school grounds.
New tonight, we are learning more about the controversy surrounding Chattanooga Preparatory School and its principal. The school is run by Prep Public Schools, and that is the same organization that owns Knoxville Prep.
Principal Diamond Kelly has been suspended after hiring teacher Kenya White, that teacher under investigation by police and the Department of Children's Services.
Reporter Xavier Harris spoke with parents of several former students who say a search of White's personnel file should have raised red flags.
I mean, this person was already under active investigation, it feels like that might have come up very quickly with any due diligence.
Kenya White was indicted on February 10th by the Hamilton County Grand Jury on charges of sexual exploitation of a minor by electronic means, along with one count each of solicitation of a minor and kidnapping. White was working at Chattanooga Prep at the time of the arrest, but his personnel file revealed he was under investigation by law enforcement and the Department of Children's Services for unprofessional behavior before being hired at Chattanooga Prep.
I think it's extremely concerning.
A request we put in for White's file was fulfilled in just a week. We discovered that White had been suspended from Eastlake Academy on February 17, 2023, pending the outcome of the investigation into the allegations of unprofessional conduct. Despite being under investigation, White was on unpaid leave at Eastlake Academy until May of 2023 and working at Chattanooga Prep the following year.
The school isn't doing its due diligence. They're giving this teacher access to not only a huge position of trust with the children they're seeing every day, but also this entire community.
As the investigation into White continued, Micah Best, interim CEO of Prep Public Schools, confirmed Principal Diamond Kelly has been placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. Best explained that this leave is a procedural step and should not be seen as an admission of wrongdoing.
She should be given every chance to say what happened, but if she didn't do it, then definitely she needs to go.
While some parents are holding out hope that there's a valid explanation for Kelly's failure to request White's background check, the law is clear. Local education boards and charter schools are required to run DCS background checks on all applicants for teaching positions. Right now, we're working with DCS to confirm if Chattanooga Prep had did just that.
It's necessary for our schools, all of them, to have some public oversight to make sure that the principals and leaders that are guiding these schools are following through with their promises to be a caretaker for these schools.
As for White's fate, his court date is set for May 8th.
And you can read more about Kenya White and why he is under investigation in our web story at WBIR.com.
Well, turning now to this, a former Chesapeake Middle School teacher who was arrested on child porn charges is in court today for sentencing. We're talking about Jordan Palomares, the 25-year-old former Deep Creek Middle School teacher who in December pleaded guilty to 24 counts of child pornography charges. Let's bring in Jeremiah Beatty. She joins us this afternoon from outside the courtroom. Jeremiah, what's the latest?
Hey there, Ashley. So right now, the court is in recess as the judge goes over the facts of this case. The Commonwealth wants Jordan Palomares to serve 25 years, which is the max amount of time he can serve in prison. On the other hand, Palomares' defense is requesting he serve 15 years behind bars. Now, this morning, we heard from a detective, including a digital forensics expert who conducted one of the search warrants on Palomares' devices. According to investigators, Palomares used Snapchat to share sexually explicit pictures of young girls, some as young as 4 years old. Investigators say they found evidence on his cell phone and computer showing he frequently shared pictures using the username Mr. President P. Court records say Snapchat reported them to authorities to investigate, which led investigators to Palomares. Now, a search warrant also revealed he had more explicit photos, including one of a Deep Creek Middle School student taken without her knowledge. In the courtroom, we learned from investigators who testified that his phone and laptops contained hundreds of photos of young girls, including some students he previously taught. But again, the Commonwealth is asking for him to serve 25 years, which is, again, the max amount of time he can serve. His defense is arguing for 15 years. Coming up later today, we'll have an update and we'll bring you the amount of time he's expected to serve. That will be at 4 p.m. today. Reporting live in Chesapeake, I'm Jeremiah Beatty, 13 News Now.
Okay, Jeremiah, thank you for that.
An early childhood center teacher in Webster Groves is accused of molesting a child under 12 years of age.
The St. Louis County prosecuting attorney just announced these charges this afternoon. Fox 2's Chad Mara joins us live from the courthouse in Clayton. And Chad, when did the crime allegedly happen?
Well, Mandy, Shirley, investigators say the crime took place between January 2023 and August 2024. We then found some old state inspection records that show the suspect, Titus, was working at the facility even more recently than that. Directly behind the Webster Groves Police Department sits Here We Grow Early Care and Education, where a teacher's accused of a heinous crime.
We had a child that was traumatized and violated.
St. Charles man Christopher Titus is now charged with sodomy and molestation, charges that could lead to life in prison. The victim, just 4 years old.
I'm confident that we will be able to secure a conviction and get this predator off the streets.
Investigators say a victim provided disturbing details. The St. Louis County Police says Titus then admitted to engaging in sex acts with the victim on several occasions. The alleged crimes happened between January 2023 and August of last year. But we found this state inspection from October that shows Titus was still teaching at the school at that time. During the inspection, Titus was the only teacher in a class with 10 2- to 3-year-olds. When we asked today, police said the alleged crime was just reported in the past couple of weeks, and the daycare center has been extremely helpful in the investigation. Sergeant Brett Belcher said a whole community is affected by this crime.
You're setting off a bomb within the family, within that tight-knit trust community, and it's devastating for everybody involved.
Police tell us they don't have any evidence that shows there are any other potential victims at this time. I did go into the daycare earlier today and spoke to the director. She declined to comment on the case, but said she is sending out communications to families who have children who attend school there. Reporting live in Clayton, Chad Mira, Fox 2 News.
This is Christina Formella, the special education teacher who is charged with sexually abusing one of her students. She appeared in an Illinois courtroom where prosecutors unveiled dozens more accusations against her. Formella, a 30-year-old, was arrested in March and accused of sexually abusing a 15-year-old student after the mother of that student found a concerning text thread between her son and the teacher detailing their alleged relationship. The Downers Grove High School teacher was initially charged with 1 count of criminal sexual assault and 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Prosecutors unsealed dozens more counts, charging her with 55 total counts in what authorities allege is a years-long case of sexual abuse. Formella, who has since resigned from her job at the school, is accused of grooming the boy since he was 14 years old and having sex with him on at least 45 separate occasions, including at school during school hours and at her home. The prosecutor said investigators have discovered hundreds, if not thousands, of text messages that align with what the teenage boy told investigators earlier this year.
The current teacher was in federal court this morning answering charges of producing child pornography. Wilson Jones faces 2 counts of production of a morphed image of child pornography. According to a federal affidavit used to secure an arrest warrant for Jones, the former school employee reportedly used an online artificial intelligence program to digitally alter images of students to show them engaging in inappropriate behavior, including kissing and exposing themselves. The activity was detected November 19, 2024 by an app the district uses to monitor school district computers. And the videos were reportedly retrieved from Jones's computer by the IT department. According to the documents, Jones admitted to using the program to create videos but claimed they were not sexual. Jones resigned his position November 21st. Earlier this month, the FBI got a subpoena to retrieve the evidence from the school district. Jones was arrested a few days later. He had an initial appearance today. His next hearing will be Friday.
A Brooklyn high school math teacher has just pleaded guilty to convincing students to send him sexual pictures and videos. Thanks for joining us here on News 12 Brooklyn. I'm Amanda Bossard. News 12's Rob Flax is joining us tonight from Brooklyn Criminal Court with the details in this case. Rob, disturbing.
Yeah, Amanda, former St. Anne's teacher Winston Wynn accepting a plea deal that will see him serve 7 years in prison, as well as 10 years of post-prison monitoring, where he will also have to register as a sex offender for the next 20 years. Now, the 38-year-old former teacher appearing stoic in court, and when he accepted the charges from the judge, including 1 count of inducing a minor to engage in a sexual performance, as well as 5 additional counts of actions that were injurious to a minor. Now, Wynn was teaching math at the private Brooklyn Heights Academy when the events took place, beginning in 2022 until 2024. Prosecutors saying he used 2 Snapchat accounts where he pretended to be a teenager to get students to send him those explicit videos and images. Wynn's attorney telling us, given the extent of evidence that was found on his cell phone, they moved to take that plea.
We had to plead guilty. We had no choice. He resigned himself to the fact that he was going to go to jail for many years. When you have those kinds of things on your phone, assuming it's your phone, it's very tough, if not impossible, to defend against that.
Now, Wynn's attorney telling us his client is not looking forward to serving that sentence with that label of child sex crimes. And he also tells us that Wynn is due in court next week, where he expects his client will give a statement apologizing to his victims. In downtown Brooklyn, Rob Flax, News 12 Brooklyn.
A former Lubbock Middle School teacher will spend 20 years in prison for online solicitation of a minor and improper relationship between an educator and a student. 31-year-old James Tapley was a teacher at Irons Middle School. A concerned adult reported the situation to police back in November last year. A police report at the time said, quote, several videos were sent to from Tapley to the victim, who, according to court documents, was younger than 14 years old. Investigators discovered Tapley contacted the victim through social media and, quote, electronic means for the purpose of establishing a future sexual relationship.
Well, a bike week sting operation led to a paraprofessional being caught for inappropriate interactions with a minor. 16 people were arrested during Operation Full Throttle, including Jeffrey Summers, who worked at Horizon Elementary. Channel 9 Volusia County reporter Demi Johnson is there live for us tonight. And Demi, a crisis team was actually on campus today.
Yeah, they were providing support for any students who needed it after this arrest. This story certainly taking an interesting turn this afternoon when we found out that this arrest was tied to Bike Week. That teacher taught here at Horizon Elementary School, and the district tells us he didn't teach in any specific classroom, but he actually worked in multiple with special needs students. A message alerting parents that a Horizon Elementary School staff member had been arrested for inappropriate interactions with a minor went out early Monday morning, and it left many families on edge.
You're just in this unknown, and now you have to, like, do I talk to my kids? Have they have any incidences?
I was actually skeptical of bringing my kid today to school till I know more about what was going on.
A school district spokesperson says the employee was Jeffrey Summers. Volusia County records show Summers was arrested Friday on 2 charges: traveling to meet after using a computer to lure a child and soliciting a child for unlawful sex. Port Orange police say Summers' arrest was part of an undercover operation that targeted online predators. It was conducted during Bike Week along with multiple Florida law enforcement agencies. 16 suspects in total were arrested. In the meantime, Summers is not allowed on any school property or to have interactions with students. That gives parents some peace of mind, but because they don't know many details about what actually happened, they still have a lot of concerns.
It's pretty scary, though, especially in elementary school where the kids are little.
And records show Summers bonded out on Saturday. We're still waiting to get more details about what actually happened in this case from Port Orange Police. Live in Port Orange, Demi Johnson, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
A former preschool teacher was arrested on 51 counts of child abuse and child harassment, according to the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said 32-year-old Brandon Vigil turned himself in to the Arapahoe County Detention Facility on February 10th. Vigil reportedly worked in Centennial from February of 2024 until he was fired on September 6th of that year. Investigators say a teacher's aide who is substituting for another teacher reported a single incident on September 5th. There were 14 children in the room at the time, all of who were 2 years old, according to deputies. Deputies said that teacher's aide immediately reported the incident to the director of daycare and law enforcement officials. Vigil is charged with 28 counts of child abuse and 23 counts of child harassment. And this is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information on this case or believes they might know a potential victim of Vigil is encouraged to call the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office tip line.
The Delaware State Police arrested 45-year-old David DiFilippo of Newark, Delaware, for felony sexual conduct and solicitation of a child while in the role of the victim's teacher at George V. Kirk Middle School in Newark. The investigation revealed that over the 6-month span, DiFilippo took part in sexually explicit conversations with the victim through social media. And also during that time period, DiFilippo made inappropriate physical contact with the victim at the school and during school hours, which caused the victim to feel alarmed and very uncomfortable. And at the conclusion of a several-month-long investigation, detectives obtained a warrant for DiFilippo's arrest. He was charged with the following crimes: sexual solicitation of a child under 18, which is a felony; enticement for purposes of sexual conduct, a felony; dangerous crime against a minor under 14, criminal sexual conduct, which is also a felony; and promoting the sexual solicitation of a child under 18. As well as obscenity material provided to a person under 18, also a felony, and of course, sexual abuse of a child by a person of trust. He was then released after posting a $65,500 secured bond. Pathetic.
Welcome back. A former administrator at a local private boarding school for students with learning disabilities pleading guilty to producing child pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced 51-year-old Michael Fisher admitted to hiding cameras at the Gow School in South Wales to create and attempt to create videos of at least 5 boys engaging in sexually explicit conduct. Prosecutors say there were also some unidentified minors in videos found in Fisher's electronic devices. Fisher was the Associate Director of Enrollment and Management at the school and lived on campus for more than a year. We're told sentencing will be scheduled at a later date. The Gow School sending a statement saying in part the community worked hard to put Fisher's offenses behind them and went on to say, "We are not aware of any Gow student being involved in the crimes to which Fisher pled guilty." Going on to say the school also strengthened all of its protocols designed to protect everyone and also noted it's a different and better school as of today.
Hey, who you here to meet, bro?
This video posted online captures the moment a suspected child predator with connections to Guam is arrested by Orange County sheriffs.
Hey, you here to meet a 14-year-old boy today? Hey, are you a teacher? Are you a teacher? Oh, a former teacher?
35-year-old Gregorio Eckley is a former Chamorro language and culture teacher at Southern High School. The arrest was coordinated by People vs. Preds, a private group that posed as minors on the internet to catch alleged predators. We spoke with the guy behind the camera, who we're only identifying as being with the organization.
My organization puts fake accounts on the internet and we pose as children. So people reach out to us and we let them know that we're underage pretty shortly into the conversation, and the conversation continues or it doesn't continue. In this situation, the conversation obviously continued, which allowed Gregory to get arrested.
According to screenshots of the chat log posted online, Eckley was allegedly aware that the boy he was attempting to meet up with was only 14 years old. Eckley allegedly planned to meet him at a parking lot of a supermarket in San Clemente, California, where he was apprehended by police.
The police were great in this scenario. They came and arrested him, and he went to jail.
On February 22nd, Eckley was arrested on suspicion of attempting to contact a minor with intent to commit offense, but he was released from custody less than a week later.
I don't think the Orange County DA's office filed charges, unfortunately. This is something that is out of my control, unfortunately. The evidence is definitely solid, and the Orange County DA's office will need some pressure from the community in order to know why they aren't filing charges in a timely manner for someone that wanted to harm a child.
He says the mission behind People vs. Preds is to spread awareness and keep kids safe from online predators.
An assistant principal at a school in Round Rock has been fired after allegations of inappropriate behavior with a student. Today, a spokesperson with Idea Public Schools confirms that Aaron Freeman was fired from the Round Rock Tech campus. He'd been an assistant principal there. According to an arrest affidavit on February the 21st, a 15-year-old said they were doing community service at the school when Freeman touched her inappropriately. He faces a second-degree felony charge of indecency with a child through sexual contact. Court records show he was released from jail yesterday.
Good afternoon. A high school football coach, now an accused sexual predator. And it's a case the 8 News Now investigators first told you about. Thanks for joining us here at 4:30. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Kirsten Joyce. Vanessa Murphy, the only one in the courtroom today, as additional allegations are coming to light. And we do want to warn you, the details in this report is of a sensitive nature.
Prosecutors say they found additional images of Valley High School's former head football coach sexually abusing a student on school grounds. This doesn't end there. They say they also found an image of the former coach exposing himself with a toddler.
Not only do we have a teacher or a football coach who's used his position within our community to abuse and take advantage of students, we also now have an individual who we found is essentially sexually abusing, photographing toddlers, infants, children who are not more than 3 years of age.
Clark County Prosecutor William Billy Rolls explaining why a grand jury indicted Antoine Washington for additional sex crimes charges.
What he's convicted of?
This is Washington appearing virtually from jail after his arrest last December.
Additional information that we just got.
On Wednesday, Clark County District Court Chief Judge Jerry Weiss increases Washington's bail from $100,000 to $250,000 after hearing more about what detectives report finding on Washington's cell phone.
On that phone,
the grand jury also indicting Jada Cole, one of Washington's girlfriends, Weiss setting her bail at $150,000. Roll says the pair is seen on video sexually abusing a student, and both are seen in separate photos with separate toddlers. Images described as child sexual abuse material. The evidence in the case so graphic and disturbing, it is sealed.
We recovered videos where he was engaging in sexual intercourse with her, where he was engaging in fellatio with her, where he was urinating on her face and performing other sex acts with the juvenile. We found a photograph which we connected to Mr. Washington where his penis is exposed, and there is another toddler. Mr. Washington is a sexual predator.
This case started with one alleged victim. Now there are 3 alleged victims because of the 2 toddlers identified in that alleged child sexual abuse material. Prosecutors say Washington and Cole each babysat. Reporting in downtown Las Vegas, Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
If Washington or Cole post bail, they are required to be on high-level electronic monitoring and stay away from the alleged victims. Washington's case was initially moved to Henderson Justice Court. No explanation provided when our 8 News Now investigators reached out to find out why. However, sources say Washington was married to a Justice Court administration employee.
A former Washington Parish teacher has been arrested on multiple sexual abuse charges. 29-year-old Darby Smith, who was a teacher in Franklinton, is charged with 80 counts of pornography involving juveniles, along with multiple sexual abuse-related charges and a solicitation charge. The Franklinton Police Department says they have been investigating the allegations against Smith for 4 months. Police have not released any further information at this time.
We're going to head over to Los Angeles. A former teacher and athletic coach at Royal Oak Middle School in Covina, who pleaded guilty to the production of CSAM and using the internet to entice a minor to engage in sex, was sentenced Monday to 23.5 years in federal prison. That means no parole. This is John David Boyle, a 52-year-old of Glendora, and he was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson. At Monday's hearing, Judge Wilson said Boyle's crimes were horrendous, and the damage done to the victims is incalculable. Boyle, who in addition was teaching an athletic coach, he pled guilty to enticement of a minor in March to engage in criminal sexual activity, admitting that he molested a 14-year-old boy whom he met online. Boyle also pleaded guilty to production, distribution, and possession of child sexual abuse material. Boyle spent years collecting child pornography from the internet traded child sexual abuse material over email, participated in sexually explicit conversations in internet chat rooms in which he enticed underage boys to engage in sexually explicit conduct, and personally molested multiple underage boys. See ya, Chomo.
New tonight, more teenage students in Morgan County are now coming forward, and they're accusing a former teacher of sexual misconduct with a minor. Ashton Hackman is in Morgan County to explain why the prosecutors are now looking to bring even more charges against this woman.
31-year-old Brittany Fortenberry has been held here at the Morgan County Jail since her arrest last month on charges of sexual misconduct with a minor. Since then, 5 new victims have come forward with additional allegations.
Prosecutors have asked to file up to 24 additional criminal charges against her, including 10 counts of child molesting, sexual misconduct with a minor, and 13 other charges for disseminating material harmful to minors and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Court documents say all of the teens reported Fortenberry would send them nude and explicit photos and videos on Snapchat and force them to have group sex at her Martinsville home. A child victim advocate says it's important for parents to feel comfortable having difficult conversations with their children.
And what we just encourage is that parents kind of ask that open-ended question and they give their children a chance to speak, and then they praise their courage at that time rather than asking them questions about what they did or why they didn't tell. The last thing that we want is a child to feel blame or shame as a result of making a disclosure.
We reached out to the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office to see when these formal charges will be filed. We have not yet heard back. In Morgan County, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
We are learning a man arrested for child sexual assault material is a former Rochester teacher. Resurrection Lutheran Schools has confirmed 37-year-old Wolf Parsons was a teacher there before being fired on Friday, March 7th. He faces felony charges for disseminating and possessing child pornographic work involving minors. Rochester police searched Parsons' home on Friday and arrested him yesterday. Investigators say they got a tip from the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force last month. RPD says Parsons was previously cited for indecent exposure in an unrelated case. And Resurrection Lutheran Schools has also released a statement in response to the arrest. It says in part, quote, "While we have no evidence that the situation involved any RLS students, our school family is stunned and saddened by this discovery. We are praying for all those affected. The safety and well-being of our students, staff, and community is our highest priority," end quote.
Well, new tonight, a former West Rowan high school teacher was arrested today for multiple sexual assault charges. Deputies say Christian Cabrera had sex with a 15-year-old student inside an empty classroom. The incidents were first reported to the school's resource officer last week. Cabrera is being held without bond. He is expected in court tomorrow.
A Geauga County grand jury has indicted a former teacher on several sex charges involving a minor. Former South Euclid Lyndhurst teacher Eric Schmidt was arrested in January. The district has confirmed the alleged victim is not a student in their system. Schmidt resigned last week. He's set to be arraigned March 26th.
A former Clarksville middle school teacher appeared in court after being accused of inappropriate communication with a student. Connor Page faces solicitation of a minor and possession of child abuse materials, among other charges. Today, Page was ordered by the state to have no contact with the alleged victim. He was also forbidden to be on any school property. The state recommended a $150,000 cash bond, citing concerns for community safety.
The point of our bond recommendation wasn't necessarily alleging that he was a flight risk. There are two purposes of bond in Indiana. The second prong is making sure that the community is safe. And in this particular situation, the bond recommendation that I was making through my office was to make sure that the community was safe, that the children of the community were safe, and that bond amount was appropriate to do the best we could to ensure that.
Now, Page resigned from his position as a teacher with Clark County Schools following the allegations against him. He posted bond after today's hearing. He's due back in court April 2nd.
We'll head down to Texas, San Antonio. A former KIPP University Prep High School assistant teacher was arrested after being linked to an indecency with a child case involving a 15-year-old student. This is Priscilla Castro, a 27-year-old, and she was booked into the Bexar County Adult Detention Center on an indecency with a child sexual contact charge. The student told police that Castro engaged in inappropriate behavior during school hours that made them very uncomfortable. The affidavit also states that Castro allegedly continued contacting the student through blocked phone numbers. Castro asked the student if they would report her to the police and contacted them again during the student's police interview to ask where they were located at. KIPP Texas Public Schools told us that it launched an internal investigation and terminated Castro's employment on the spot as soon as they found out about it. Well, that's good.
Yeah, as long as Andre Rollins does not get in trouble again, the former full-time substitute teacher will not serve any jail time for sexually abusing a teen. Now, the 36-year-old Rollins was a full-time substitute teacher at Schroeder High School in Madisonville. He admitted to unlawful sexual contact with a minor for abusing a student from August of 2022 through May of 2023. Judge Lisa Allen sentenced Rollins to 3 years of probation, and he must register as a sex offender. Now, she also ruled that he cannot be a teacher ever again. If he breaks this probation, Allen said that she would send him to prison for 5 years. Before the sentencing, though, the prosecutor talked about the impact that this has had on this victim.
She has outlined the harm that this has caused, the betrayal, the trouble she has trusting, and just the sort of chaos that this kind of thing typically unleashes in a young person's life.
Now, Rollins did briefly speak to the judge before that sentence was handed down. He told the court that he had moved out of the area and he was working on saving his own marriage. He then asked for mercy.
Completely sorry for everything. I never thought that it would have got to that point. Sorry for the victim, because I'm not the type of person to want to traumatize or hurt anyone. I'm not.
So again, he was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Now keep in mind, this was not a plea deal. Rollins agreed to enter that guilty plea knowing, or not knowing, should I say, what his sentence would be. Now I have reached out to the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office regarding this sentence and the fact that a teacher who admitted to sexually abusing a student for months received no jail time. So far, I've not heard back.
Police in southern Colorado have arrested a youth pastor accused of sexually assaulting a child, and they believe there may be more victims. Fountain police arrested 45-year-old Stephen Hutto on Sunday for sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust. Detectives say Hutto was previously employed as a youth pastor at Fountain Independent Baptist Church. At the time of his arrest, he was working as a pastor in the city of Boone. Fountain police are now asking for the public's help in locating any witnesses or victims related to this case. If you have any information, you're asked to reach out to Fountain Police.
Two Georgia teachers are in trouble this morning. They're in custody accused of inappropriate contact with students. The charges stem from two separate cases at the same school. Atlanta News First reporter Yasmina Alston has more.
Two former teachers at the same Greene County school are in jail for allegations of sexual contact with students. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says 25-year-old Bonnie Elizabeth Brown engaged in sexual contact with a student while she was a teacher at Nathaniel Greene Academy. Brown was arrested on Friday, but the Greene County Sheriff's Office asked the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate the allegations on June 14th of last year. Then on Monday, the GBI confirmed that 60-year-old Sherry Dell Malden was also arrested after investigators say it was confirmed that Malden engaged in sexual contact with the student while she was working as a teacher at Nathaniel Greene Academy. Both women are being held in the Greene County Jail as the investigation continues. We called the academy on Monday afternoon and were told the women haven't worked at the school in quite some time and the school would release a statement at a later time. According to the school's website, they offer classes from elementary level to high school level.
Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
New at 5, a Giles County, Tennessee teacher is free on bond after being arrested and charged with solicitation of a minor. Jail records in Giles County show Stephen Hughes was arrested on Friday night. He was released Saturday morning. Hughes is listed as an agricultural teacher at Giles County High School. The Sheriff's Department could not provide any additional details on this case right now. Leaders at the school say it was made aware of the situation Friday and also cannot comment on the ongoing investigation. This arrest appears to be completely separate from another investigation happening in Fayetteville that we told you about yesterday, involving an unnamed Fayetteville school staffer accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
Well, on your corner in Harford County tonight, a Bel Air music teacher under arrest for allegedly possessing and distributing child pornography. 27-year-old Dominic LaFrancesca was taken into custody Sunday. Detectives received a tip that LaFrancesca downloaded multiple explicit images of children appearing to be between the ages of 1 and 13 years old. LaFrancesca currently being held without bond. He has now been placed on administrative leave from his music teacher position at George D. Lisby Elementary. In a statement to WJZ, Harford County Public Schools says in part, quote, "We hold our staff to the highest standards and expectations. The accusation that a staff member has violated these standards is devastating."
Next, we'll go over to Riverside, California. We've got a behavioral therapist who was sentenced to 17 years in prison for sex crimes against a minor. Back in October, Mitchell Akira Takada of Los Altos pled guilty in agreement with the district attorney's office for 1 count of attempt to commit rape and 1 count of lewd and lascivious acts of a child under the age of 14. The court denied probation and placed a criminal protective order against Takada for the maximum of 10 years. Upon release from prison, he's ordered to register as a sex offender also. The victim and her family had waived their presence at the sentencing. So here's what happened here. Riverside police officers responded to a molestation report of a severely handicapped and nonverbal girl under the age of 10. The reporting party alleged that during a therapy session, she had been sexually abused by her behavioral therapist. Detectives discovered that Takada was employed as a behavioral therapist for approximately 3 years and worked primarily with disabled children. How disgusting.
And school district teacher is now being charged with 11 counts of child pornography.
So this was discovered on the high school teacher's work-issued laptop. Austin Meyer arrested after the school district's IT department discovered 11 gigabytes of child pornography on Meyer's laptop. If Meyer is granted bond, he would be placed on house arrest and would also be prohibited from being within 1,000 feet of any school below undergraduate level. We'll continue to update you on this story as more information becomes available.
And now former Johnston County teacher is in jail accused of sex crimes involving a child.
Joshua Johnson is facing 2 counts of indecent liberties with a student. School district officials tell us that he is no longer working for the district. Investigators tell us that he taught chorus at West Johnston High School, and warrant also shows that at the time the victim was a student at West Johnston High School where Johnson taught.
Former substitute teacher at Kenston Schools is facing multiple charges now for allegedly exchanging sexual material with a minor.
Annabelle Childers has been digging into this story all day. She's live now at the Geauga County Sheriff's Office with all the new information. Annabelle, what have you been able to learn?
Well, the Sheriff's Office tells us this started when they received a tip in October from the Internet Crimes Against Children database. It flagged 26-year-old Michael Aria, that former substitute teacher, for allegedly sharing explicit material on a third-party messaging app, Kik. Now, according to the Sheriff's Office, detectives began looking into this, gathering evidence to develop probable cause. They served Aria a search warrant to inspect his phone, and in December, they went to Kenston Schools to interview him. At the time, they say Aria was working there as a substitute teacher. In February, a grand jury indicted Aria on 6 felony counts, including pandering sexually oriented matter involving a minor and illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material.
General advice to all kids is to be very careful who you trust. Any type of suspicious behavior from an adult that is beyond what would normally be from a position of authority, a teacher, a coach, anything like that, speak with your parents about it. If something doesn't seem right, talk to your parents or report it to somebody.
Now, Aria was booked into jail March 12th, but he has bonded out. He's set to appear back in court April 16th for a pretrial. State education records reveal Aria was licensed as a general substitute for pre-K to 12th grade students in 2022. When we reached out to Kinston Schools today, they did confirm a situation happened involving a longtime substitute teacher, but they would not say that it was Michael Aria. They say they removed a substitute from their position in December. On the same day, they were notified by the sheriff's office that an investigation was taking place. They say they reached out to the prosecutor's office and they were assured no Kinston students are involved. Now, today we did speak with a parent who is frustrated for a delay, what they believe was a delay in messaging from Kinston Schools. At 5 o'clock, you're going to hear from that parent about what she wishes she would hear from the district and how she wishes this was handled.
All right, Annabelle Childers live for us in Geauga County. Annabelle, thank you.
A former church leader will head to trial after 30 charges were added to a sexual abuse case. During Zachary Radcliffe's court appearance yesterday, more counts were added based on emotional testimony. He now faces 60 charges. Radcliffe is accused of abusing kids between 12 and 17 years old. Months ago, police searched his home and told us Radcliffe's crimes date back close to 15 years. A Washtenaw County judge thinks the case is indescribable.
I don't say this lightly at all, but in my 25 some plus years, I've seen a lot. This ranks up with one of the most egregious predators that I have ever seen.
Radcliffe's attorney argued he should not face charges on sexual abuse-related offenses because physical evidence was not presented in court. If convicted, he could face up to life in prison.
But first, a middle school teacher from Montgomery County was just arrested, accused of trying to sexually assault one of his students. The district attorney says the investigation started after the teacher showed the 13-year-old student disturbing messages. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Sheba Russell. As Steve Keeley reports, investigators say that student immediately told the school and her father.
Is deplorable. Tonight, parents in Norristown upset after learning from both the school district and district attorney that 57-year-old John Richards lost his career as a school science teacher at Norristown's Blackson Middle School after losing his freedom for a time, turning himself in here to Norristown Police, where he was then taken to court to face felony sexual charges involving his actions toward a 13-year-old female student.
To hear this news, I have 3 children myself. My daughter's 13. The young lady involved is around the same age.
Richards or none of his family appeared home when Fox 29 News sought his side of the story tonight. Neighbors say the teacher has lived here at his Newtown Square home with his wife and children for about 10 years. He taught at Blackson Middle School since 2016, his LinkedIn bio says. That is now over, the school superintendent says in this statement. There is no place in Norristown Area School District for someone facing serious criminal charges of mistreatment of a student. We have been in constant contact with law enforcement throughout their investigation and are confident there are sufficient grounds for termination of this employee. The district attorney's criminal complaint details evidence supporting Richard's charges, showing text messages like, "When I see you, my heart skips a beat," and telling her he wanted to kiss her twice on a planned field trip to Washington, D.C. he was supposed to chaperone. Parents tonight gave credit to the school district for transparency.
We've got emails yesterday and we've got emails today.
And that made you happy that they were communicating?
Yes, they're communicating, and I prefer to let the court system handle what the court system needs to handle. My focus is the students of Norristown Area School District and making sure they feel safe and welcome when they come to school.
Parents both wonder and worry if this wasn't a first with this teacher and that there are more student victims out there.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a possibility. With predators, there's never just one. I pray that this is the first and last, but it wouldn't shock me if there were more.
Well, tonight bail was set at $10,000 that detectives expected him to easily make, but he won't be going back to the middle school in the morning. Now, Jason Sheba, one other disturbing thing that the Norristown detective told us that he learned from this 13-year-old victim was back around Christmas time, she was given a gift from her school. Then this teacher asked for her home address, and then he personally delivered the gift to her. And then after handing her the gift, he then went inside her house and hugged her, and then finally left.
Disturbing to say the least. Steve Keeley there. Thank you very much.
A Vail school district teacher has been arrested on charges that she had a sexual relationship with a student, according to the police. Christy Elliott, 25-year-old, an English teacher and cheerleading coach at Empire High School, was arrested. She is facing charges of luring a minor for sexual exploitation and sexual conduct with a minor. She was booked into the Pima County Jail. Tucson police said that a parent had found inappropriate messages on his child's cell phone. The parent reported the messages to the school because it was believed that the messages were from his child's English teacher. Police were then called in, and the investigation revealed that Elliott and the student indeed had a physical relationship. Elliott turned herself in to investigators at the downtown police headquarters back on Monday.
An elementary school teacher in Longueuil is facing charges related to child luring. 37-year-old Kyle Leuke was arrested on February the 7th. He's accused of sending explicit messages and photos to at least one minor. Police say he was known online by the usernames The Bizo Man, Bizo and Bizo 8. Police believe there are possible victims here in Quebec and around the world.
Well, a Preble County teacher faces more charges after a teenage student reported a sexual relationship with him.
Grand jurors indicted Garrett Stringer Smith on 10 charges of felony sexual battery. A student at Twin Valley Schools reported that she started having sex with him this past October when she was 17. She says the activity happened in several places, including the school. Stringer Smith has a hearing set for March 21st.
Jess, that's right. That tip was actually through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They notified the Canadian County Sheriff's Office, and from there, he was arrested. This was the email parents at Southwest Covenant Schools got Tuesday, informing parents Kevin Cobbs, a high school principal and basketball coach, was recently arrested for allegations of child pornography.
We got the cyber tip from NECMEC. So we started looking into it, and this is where it all led.
When the sheriff's office tracked down the IP address Tuesday morning, it led them to Principal Cobb's house. That's where they discovered the photo of a naked 16-year-old boy in his phone. That boy attends the school where Cobb works.
If you're communicating on phones or laptops, you're really not secure. You're going to be found out.
Further forensic evidence showed more photos of young males in his phone as well. In the email to parents, the district says they'll be meeting with high school students and offering support during this time. They also note that Cobbs was immediately suspended and all physical and electronic access to the school has been revoked.
Southwest Covenant Schools is associated with the church. They're victims in this as well, as far as we're concerned. I mean, this is a bad situation for everybody involved, especially victims, real live victims.
And the district told me that they are fully cooperating with police in this investigation. But guys, coming up tonight at 6, we actually spoke further with Sheriff West about how he is working to get these alleged criminals off the streets. Reporting live in Yukon, Megan Mosley, KOCO 5 News.
This is Kyle Pittman, a Barrie Elementary School teacher accused of sex crimes that include luring and exploiting a 16-year-old girl on Instagram and making child pornography. Pittman made a brief appearance today in a virtual courtroom from jail in Penetanguishene after being charged with sex crimes involving a child that includes sexual exploitation, invitation to sexual touching, making, printing, publishing, or possessing child pornography, accessing child pornography, making sexually explicit material of a child under 18, and luring a child under 18. Barrie police revealed detectives from the Internet Child Exploitation Unit executed a search warrant after receiving a report from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Police said emergency orders with internet service providers confirmed the identity and age of the teen, as well as the identity, age, and location of the accused. Police revealed several computer devices belonging to the accused were seized for further analysis. The 43-year-old also worked as a local baseball coach and was recently named Select Coach of the Year in Barrie. Pittman taught French immersion and was a public school teacher for more than a decade in Mississauga and Brampton before moving to the Barrie area 2 years ago. Mr. Pittman remains in custody and is scheduled to make his next appearance by video from jail tomorrow. The allegations against him have not been tested in court. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
Also breaking at noon, a Papillion La Vista school psychologist is arrested on 2 charges of child sex assault. Jeffrey Fauble was booked at the Douglas County Jail. In a statement, the school district says he's been placed on administrative leave and is not permitted on campus or allowed to contact students. They say the first priority remains meeting the need of its students. The district says there is no information indicating any involvement of PLCS students or their families. We'll bring you more information about this story as it develops.
Pitt County, North Carolina. A former Spanish teacher at Welcome Middle School was arrested and is accused of child sex crimes with a student. Heidi Monroy, 37-year-old of Greenville, was booked into the Pitt County Detention Center and is facing statutory rape of a child, sexual activity with a student, and indecent liberties with a student charges. A school resource officer began an investigation into possible inappropriate conduct between a teacher and a 14-year-old student at the middle school. And as a result of the investigation, evidence obtained was presented to the magistrate where warrants were issued for Monroy's arrest. She was later arrested by authorities and is being held without bond. Monroy is no longer employed with Pitt County Schools. She began her career with Pitt County Schools back in August of 2022, and of course no longer has a teaching career there or anywhere for that matter.
Shockwaves in the Bristol school system tonight after word a school employee is facing child porn charges. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Sinney.
And hi everyone, I'm Erin Connolly. That paraeducator is no longer working in the school system, but this investigation was actually happening for months while he was still working with children.
Channel 3's Amanda Callahan is your reporter outside Bristol Eastern with brand new details tonight.
Erin and Mark, Bristol superintendent told me that she did not learn of this investigation until today, and once she did, that para was immediately let go. Now, Bristol police said this has been an investigation since last fall, and while that might seem like a long time for this para to still be employed in the school system, police say they can't give information out about an investigation prematurely.
I'm very disheartened by this whole situation.
That's crazy to me. That just seems so absurd.
Bristol residents shocked to hear a man working as a paraeducator in a special education program was arrested early Tuesday morning for possession of child sexual abuse material. 25-year-old Jacob Senek worked at Destinations Academy. It's a special ed program for grades K through 8 that's run out of Bristol Eastern High School. Acting Superintendent Iris White sent out a message to families on Tuesday saying the district is cooperating with law enforcement and Senek was immediately relieved of all duties. The message goes on to say the safety of students is the district's top priority. And quote, "My hope is that these horrific allegations will not cast a shadow over the important work carried out by our teachers and staff members who provide an outstanding education and safe environment for our students every day." Senek's arrest stemmed from an investigation by the Bristol Police Criminal Investigation Division that started in the fall of 2024 when the department got a tip that a Bristol resident had graphic videos of children. Some residents say Senek should have been removed from the school much sooner.
I have a sister who's special needs, and if that happened to my sister, I'd be very, very upset. So wake up, Bristol. You've got to do what you got to do, and this guy should have been removed long ago. Even if you were investigating, you should have removed him.
Others concerned he was working with a vulnerable population of students.
I think it's appalling, to be honest. That's so concerning that he's working with not only young children, but also children who really can't fend for themselves, can't really speak for themselves.
Now, Senek was arraigned this morning. It's not clear if he posted bond. Now, both the school district and police are asking if anyone has any concerns to contact them. Your reporter in Bristol, Amanda Callahan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
For a paraprofessional from Bristol now charged with child pornography. Police say Jacob Senek was involved in owning child sexual abuse material. He is a paraprofessional at Destinations Academy on the Bristol Eastern High School campus. He's now charged with possession of child sexual abuse material in the first degree. He's being held on a $200,000 bond. Now
Military and law enforcement background, which may have made it seem like he was a perfect fit for an instructor as an ROTC instructor for students at Venice High School. Police say several students, though, have come forward accusing him of inappropriate behavior. Tonight, he's charged with battery and multiple counts of lewd and lascivious behavior for touching and groping female students.
As Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon reports for us tonight, parents are just sick as they learn of the arrest.
A retired U.S. Marine and former Highway Patrol trooper, ROTC instructor Frank Troxel, known as Master Guns at Venice High School, appeared to be a trustworthy individual.
You're put in a position of authority and respect, and to be taking advantage of that position is just, it's not fair, it's not right.
But the 61-year-old landed behind bars in Sarasota County, charged with battery and 10 counts of lewd and lascivious behavior. After Sarasota Schools police say multiple female students came forward with disturbing stories.
They come to school to learn and grow, and and to be in that junior ROTC, they want to be there for our country and support that, and so to have to deal with that's heartbreaking.
An arrest report lists several incidents of unwanted touching, from smacking a student's buttocks to pulling back and looking into a student's shirt, to being touched in intimate places while being fitted for uniforms.
It's surprising that it went this far.
Troxel was arrested Wednesday.
Yeah, it's very shocking. He's been here for a very long time, and it's disturbing to hear that.
Now that he has been arrested, parents hope the students who came forward can be at peace.
Those girls to be able to speak out is amazing, and I respect them for being able to do that, and this to be put to an end, and I hope that they're okay.
The Sarasota County School District and schools police would not speak about Troxel's arrest, but they did tell us he worked for the district for 12 years and retired in September, 7 months after his first victim came forward. In Venice, Kimberly Quizon, Fox 13 News.
Troxel has already bonded out. He will be due back in court on March 28th for his arraignment.
So today,
we go to Rock Hill meantime. A teacher in custody at this hour. Police say this is over child sexual abuse material. The district confirmed Douglas McAlpine is now on administrative leave. He worked at Rock Hill High School and Castle Heights Middle School. The district says no students were involved in this incident. WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay has been looking through the court documents and breaks down what we know so far.
The York County Sheriff's Office arrested Douglas McAlpine. He was a teacher at Castle Heights Middle School and a boys and girls track coach at Rock Hill High School. Jail records show he's now charged with 6 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor in York County. The Sheriff's Office tells us these files were distributed from an account that allegedly belongs to McAlpine, but he didn't create the files. The district immediately placed him on leave and emphasized no students are involved. They released a statement today saying, quote, "The safety and well-being of our students remain our top priority. We are fully cooperating with the appropriate authorities as they handle this matter." Now, as of Monday afternoon, he was still on the district website. He's listed under Unique Pathways, which is a program for special needs students. Now, the district says they're committed to supporting students and staff at both of these impacted schools, but cannot comment further because this is an ongoing investigation. McAlpine is currently being held without bond. In Rock Hill, Julie Kay, WCNC Charlotte.
Now to our other top story. A substitute teacher, 81 years old, arrested accused of a sex act while he was alone inside a school classroom.
Police say it happened at a Salt Lake City middle school during school hours. Our Christian Sita joins us live with the story. Christian.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it happened right across the street here in Clayton Middle School. Now, parents are calling the behavior disturbing, and police say they began this investigation about a week ago. On March 21st, after receiving reports that a Clayton Middle School student allegedly witnessed Morris Richard Sanders engaging in inappropriate behavior inside an empty classroom on March 18th. He was arrested and booked into the Salt Lake County Metro Jail on one Class A misdemeanor charge of lewdness involving a child. The Salt Lake City Police Department school resource officer assisted with the investigation, and police say the Salt Lake City School District was cooperative throughout. Now, I did reach out to the school district for a statement regarding this incident, but I haven't heard back. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Christian Sita, KUTV 2 News.
Washington Parish, Louisiana. A former Washington Parish school teacher has been arrested for allegedly possessing child sexual abuse material. According to the Washington St. Tammany Parish's District Attorney Colin Sims, Franklinton Police Department officers arrested Darby Colette Smith, a 29-year-old, after a 4-month-long investigation. Smith, a former teacher in Franklinton, was booked with 80 counts of child sexual abuse material, 1 count of computer-aided solicitation, and 1 count of indecent behavior with a juvenile, as well as 2 counts of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, which means she actually had sex with them. She was booked into the Washington Parish County Jail with a $500,000 bond. See ya, Chomet.
A San Jose special education worker has been arrested after his colleague allegedly found inappropriate photos of children on his flash drive. Police took him into custody at Chandler Tripp School in San Jose, and he appeared in court just hours ago. Investigative reporter Candace Wynn was there.
Yeah, Jess, Kirk McFarland faces 1 felony count of possession of child pornography. This incident report here I read through today, it reveals disturbing allegations. Now, this is McFarland at his arraignment this afternoon. We did not hear him enter a plea. According to the incident report, McFarland was arrested on Monday at Chandler Tripp School on Thornton Way, where he's worked for about a month overseeing 1 nonverbal special needs child. Deputies say he has worked with kids for about 20 years, and before Chandler Tripp School, he worked at Del Mar High School, also in San Jose. Investigators say on Monday, just this week, McFarland asked a colleague to help him print something. When that colleague opened his flash drive, she told police she saw a picture of partially naked children. A deputy looked at that same flash drive and reported seeing more photos of young boys and girls, some shirtless and blindfolded, with their hands bound behind their backs or against a wall. Investigators say none of the photographed children were students at Chandler Tripp School. Now, the incident report states McFarland admitted he had been downloading explicit photos for about 3 to 5 years, and that the images and sometimes videos he watched helped calm him. Deputies say he told them he has hundreds of downloaded and screenshotted photos, describing his own collection as, quote, obsessive. McFarland's public defender had no comment when I tried to speak with him today. As a special education worker, McFarland is employed by the Santa Clara County Office of Education. Transparent California shows him employed by that office as far back as 2016. The county office told me in this case there's no evidence indicating any of their students were pictured in the photos. Candace Wynn, NBC Bay Area. We investigate.
Okay, thank you very much, Candace.
Education teacher is now charged with criminal sexual conduct.
Paul Mascow was charged last month with having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Investigators now say he and the student had sexual relations with each other between October and January. Court documents say the incident took place at his home and at Grosse Park in Ottawa County.
He's also charged with child pornography after investigators found explicit images of a student on his phone. Mascow is expected in court later this month.
13 is on your side.
Southern Colorado have arrested a youth pastor accused of sexually assaulting a child, and they believe there may be more victims. Fountain police arrested 45-year-old Stephen Hutto on Sunday for sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust. Detectives say Hutto was previously employed as a youth pastor at Fountain Independent Baptist Church. At the time of his arrest, he was working as a pastor in the city of Boone. Fountain police are now asking for the public's help in locating any witnesses or victims related to this case. If you have any information, you're asked to reach out to Fountain Police.
39-year-old Lena man Colin Zier faces several federal charges Thursday. He's accused of having child pornography in September of 2024. Zier has been a music teacher at Orangeville High School and has been on administrative leave.
Stevenson County deputies say an Orangeville School District official filed a report accusing Zier of talking to a student outside of school. He could face decades behind bars if convicted.
Well, a local teacher sits in jail tonight accused of prohibited sexual conduct with a student. According to Shreveport police, they began investigating Lillian McMillan, a teacher at Evangel School, on Wednesday. On Thursday, following an interview with investigators, McMillan was arrested. The age of the student was not provided by Shreveport police.
Authorities and Plattsville School District officials said a teacher was arrested in Alabama on charges of electronic solicitation of a child and traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act. This is 48-year-old Owen Sterizik of Plattsville, and he was arrested at approximately 2 in the morning Sunday, according to the Elmore County Sheriff's Department. Strizik, a music teacher at the Plattsville Middle and High Schools, has been placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation. District officials there emphasized in the release that the accusations against Strizik did not involve any Plattsville School District students. Well, as far as I'm concerned, any child is important as another, and it doesn't matter if the student went to that school, another school, any school. The fact is, it's horribly wrong for anyone in a position of trust to do something on those levels. Extremely disgusting. It's a cardinal sin. Hope you rot, Chomo.
Former Perry County school employee has now been indicted on several charges. Rachel Carroll is charged with aggravated statutory rape and solicitation of a minor. The district says Carroll was not a teacher, but did work outside of the classroom. Court documents show that Carroll was involved with a teenager in January of 2024. Administration with the Perry County School District says she was placed on administrative leave and later resigned.
Now at 4 o'clock, federal agents raid a home in Montgomery County following the arrest of an Upper Moreland School District employee. He was trusted to work with children. Today, he's facing child pornography charges. It is Wednesday afternoon. I'm Brian Taft.
And I'm Sarah Bloomquist. The big story on Action News is the arrest of the 37-year-old suspect from Hatboro. He was taken into custody yesterday.
Action News reporter Becca Hendrickson live now in Upper Moreland Township, and you've got more on these really disturbing allegations, Becca.
Brian and Sarah, I do. I just spoke with some former students of Doug Penglaze. He is that now former educator, person entrusted to work with children, charged with distributing child pornography. The details of this so disturbing. Some of the children depicted are toddlers. This is 37-year-old Douglas Penglaze, as seen on his Facebook page. Law enforcement sources confirm this is the man arrested for distributing child pornography in Montgomery County. Federal agents raided his Hatboro home Tuesday and walked out with a computer. Under arrest for child pornography charges, Penglaze also worked with children. He was a percussion head with the Upper Moreland High School marching band and had been employed since 2020. The district says he is no longer an employee. He was also a civilian employee of the Hatboro Police Department. Police say he no longer works there either. The investigation began when the social media site Kik reported that a user was transmitting child porn on the platform. Federal investigators found hundreds of files associated with this account and thousands of images. Neighbors, some of whom are parents, were disturbed to learn about what Penglaze was doing in his home.
It's sad to hear something like that because I have a 2-year-old. You never know what's going on in your neighbor's house, I guess.
The school district says it learned of the arrest only this morning, saying in a statement in part, "While we understand that this is an ongoing investigation, the district is not aware of any inappropriate interactions between Mr. Penglaze and the UMSD students or improper use of district network resources." The district also says that it's cooperating fully with the investigation. If convicted, Penglaze could face up to 20 years in prison. Live here in Upper Moreland Township, Becca Hendrickson, Channel 6 Action News, guys.
Becca, thank you.
Jumping in here on the breaking news First Alert Desk. We are just learning a paraprofessional at the Strive program in West Hartford facing charges accused of inappropriately touching students. West Hartford police arrested Dean Jones III late last week. Here's a picture of him. Police tell us the investigation started in January when police got a report by the West Hartford Board of Education. It is alleged Jones, who worked at the Strive program, also texted a student sexual messages. On the West Hartford school website, too, it states that Strive is a program for middle and high school students with behavioral and emotional disabilities. Jones is facing several charges and is out on bond. This comes after another paraeducator, Jacob Senek, was arrested last week. He's accused of having child sexual abuse material and worked at Destinations Academy on Bristol Eastern High School's campus. On the First Alert Desk, I'm Stephanie Simone, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. All right.
New this morning, a Canyon County case involving a Wilder teacher charged with 2 counts of sexual misconduct will move forward. As we've previously reported, Juvent Ramirez was arrested last week and charged with sexual abuse of a minor involving a student who is 16 or 17 years old. In a preliminary hearing this morning, a Wilder police sergeant testified about 2 surveillance videos they say shows Ramirez with the student. The defendant is being held on $1 million bond and is expected back in court on March 27th.
Pastor in jail charged with possessing and sharing child sexual abuse material. 28-year-old Daniel Minalau worked for Futures Church in Alpharetta.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Roswell tonight. Denise, Minalau was arrested yesterday at his home, right?
Yeah, that's right. Roswell police, along with investigators from the GBI, showed up at this home in Roswell yesterday. They took possession of computers and phones and arrested Minalau.
6 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material.
Those are the charges against the now former youth pastor, 28-year-old Daniel Minalau. Acting on a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Roswell police searched his home in the Hunters Cove neighborhood Wednesday.
During the course of that search warrant, we seized several electronic devices that will be analyzed for additional evidence.
According to the warrant, Minalau uploaded multiple videos that depict a minor engaged in sexually explicit conduct and shared the images using the messenger app Kik. Minalau served as a youth pastor for Futures Church in Alpharetta. A spokesperson for the church sent a statement that reads in part, "The charges against Daniel Minalau are abhorrent, appalling, and completely contrary to everything we stand for. We are horrified by what has been revealed and categorically condemn these actions in the strongest possible terms." Church officials say they have a zero-tolerance policy regarding any form of abuse, and once they learned the full extent of the charges, Minalau was fired. The statement reads, "Let us be unequivocally clear. This behavior is reprehensible and has no place in our church." Police say they have been working with the church and say their investigation is ongoing and there could be additional charges.
As you can imagine, when we have somebody who is engaging in this type of behavior, who also occupies a position of authority or influence with young people, that's something that we're going to look into very closely.
And while police do say that their investigation is ongoing, they do not believe that any children from the church or any children locally were part of those videos. Reporting live in Roswell, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Still, it is very disturbing. Denise, thanks so much.
You wore that smile like a badge, held the keys, took roll, kept score, said trust me, this is our secret, locked the classroom door. You turned the lesson into leverage, you twisted kindness into chains, signed the homework with a halo, hiding every stain, leave these kids alone. They came here to learn, not bleed. You carved your hunger into a desk, called it love till they believe. Time for justice, time for prison, let the truth cut through this prison of excuses. Leave these kids alone. You sat in front at assemblies, talked to futures, caps and gowns, but your hands were hunting shadows every time the lights went down. You wore that title like armor, respected leader, pillar, guide, but every text, every thread, every touch was a crime you tried to hide. Leave these kids alone. They came here to learn, not bleed. You carved your hunger into a desk, call it love till they believe. Time for justice, time for prison, let the truth cut through this prison of excuses. Leave these kids alone. We see the patterns in the hallway, a whisper shaking in the air. No more silence dressed as safety, every scar is evidence, a flare. Strip the plaques from off the walls, rip your name from every wing. Let the victims write the ending, let the courtroom hear the sound.
Say, excuse me, Judge, how many times do I need to show these videos until people become aware?
Multiple times.
Happy birthday, dear Ellie.
Now, Ellie, remember, this is our special secret.
1 in 5 children is sexually abused before they turn 18.
Make a wish, but remember, it's a secret.
Do you know the signs?
I just want everyone to go home.
Learn more about the risks of child sexual abuse at sapria.org.
One for a rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you play with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6, and I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.